Hello students, standard 7th revision in the chemistry chapter number 4 heat. Now heat is a form of energy and that heat can be measured by the thermometer. Now we learn that heat flow from one part to another part, one object to another object, which is known as transfer of heat. Also we saw that transfer of heat takes place by three different methods. In solids, the heat is transformed or transmitted from one place to another is the method of conduction, in which the heat go from hotter end to cooler end. Then we saw that all the metals generally and solids get hot or they transfer the heat by the method of conduction. But on the other hand, the liquids and gases which are poor conductors of heat, so they cannot transfer the heat by the method of conduction, and therefore they transfer heat by the other method, and that is convection. In convection, the heat energy is transferred by the molecules of liquid or air with a special currents. Heat currents means the molecules are taking the heat along with them. We also learn about the the sea breeze and cool breeze that we experience at the coastal area. Now we are going to learn about the third method, that is the radiation. Now when we go out of the house in the open place, then if the sun is shining in the sky, then you will feel hot. We feel warm or hot. Why? The heat energy from the sun is coming to us. Now, whether it is coming with the conduction, obviously not. Convection, also not. Because we saw that in convection, from bottom part to the upper part, the heat is transferred by the molecules. So here, the heat is transferred from sun towards us is the third method, that is the method of radiation. So transfer of heat takes place by the radiation from sun to us. Now, what is actually radiation? The process of transmission of heat in which heat energy travels in straight lines from hotter to cooler areas without any medium. That is called radiation. It means that to spread the heat, no medium is required. If medium is there, then also not a problem. But if there is no medium, then also heat is getting transferred. Because we know that so the sun is very, very far from the earth. And between sun and the earth, there is a big space between it. It means that most of the part after the environment, after the atmosphere, there is so many places in which there is no air. It means that there is vacuum there. But still, the heat energy passes through that space and reaches toward the earth. So that is known as the radiation. It means that in this method, any medium is not required. It means that it can transfer whether the medium is there or medium is not there. It can pass. Generally in some countries, when there is very cold weather, they use heater. Now heater is placed in a corner, but if you are sitting far from it, also that heat you can feel. It means that here also the heat energy is radiating from the heater, and then we get the warmness of it. So it is not necessary that we have to stand in a straight, but when it radiates the heat, it goes in all the direction. Not only in the straight direction, but in the other direction also they can pass. So that is the way we get transfer of heat by the radiation. When we keep some hot utensils in open, what happens? It cools down. Why? Because the heat is transferred from it by radiation in the atmosphere, and therefore it cools down. So in this also the radiation is there. Even our body also radiates heat in surrounding. All the hot bodies, they radiate heat from their body. When this heat falls on some object, what happens? A part of the heat is reflected, a part is absorbed, and a part may be transmitted. So whenever you have a hot body, anything, it can be a utensil or our body, all radiates heat, and that heat, when it is falling on the other object, then some of the part is getting absorbed, some is reflected, and some is getting transferred. So now the temperature of the object increases due to the absorbed part of the heat. So when an object absorbs that heat that is fall on it, then its temperature will rise. And therefore, we are taking umbrella with us. Generally, when it is very hot, some people like to take umbrella with it. Why? Because umbrella will take that heat and it will not allow that heat to reach to us, because it will take that, and maybe it can reflect that back in the atmosphere. So we don't get hot inside the umbrella. Similarly, in a different weather, we like to wear different types of clothes. Do you like woolen clothes in summer? If somebody tell you to wear a sweater or a jacket in summer when there is very hot weather, no, you will not wear it. Why? We will like to wear cotton clothes or light colored clothes in summer, while in winter we like dark colored clothes and woolen clothes also. Why? What is the difference in them? Why there are special types of clothes for special types of season? Because to understand that, let us understand with an activity that you can do yourself at your home also. What we have to do? We have to take two identical tin cans, paint the outer surface of one black and other white. You can take, or you can take two any other utensils also, that stainless steel utensils also. One you have to color, paint with the white and other with a black on the surface, outer surface, and put them in the sun and add some water in it, equal amount of water in both the pots, and keep it them in the midday where the sun is very hot. When there is very hot weather, that time keep the same amount of water in both and keep them in the sun, and then measure the temperature after few hours, maybe after 1 hour. Then measure the temperature of the water in both the utensils, and you will be surprised to see that they are getting hot, heat same, but one of them will have high temperature, the other will have less temperature. Because the dark color absorb more heat. The dark color absorb heat radiation better than the light colored. And therefore, in that pot or your utensil or any tin cans, you have colored with a black paint. That water will be hotter. Means the temperature of that water will be more than the temperature of the water that was kept, in which it was painted with white color. White is a light color, black is dark color. So dark color absorb more heat. So if you wear dark colored cloth in summer, that will absorb more heat. So you will feel very hotter. And therefore, you will feel uncomfortable in those clothes. Therefore, we like to wear light colored clothes in the summertime, so that reflect most of the heat. Similarly, in the winter we like dark colored clothes, because in winter when it's hot weather, then if you wear the dark colored clothes, that can absorb the heat. They can absorb the more heat, and therefore we like dark colored clothes in winter and in light colored clothes in summer. Similarly, in winter we like the woolen clothes also. Why? Because the clothes made from wool, why give us warmth? They are not hot when you feel them. They are not like hot, but they are poor conductor of heat. They are poor conductor of heat. Therefore, the heat from our body does not go outside. It keeps the heat inside. Also, air is trapped in the hair of the wolves, and that will also give us the warmth. And so, therefore, we like to wear comfortable colored or the woolen material. So, the air is trapped in between the woolen fibers, and which prevent the flow of heat, because we know that air is also poor conductor of heat. So it will keep the body warmth inside and we feel very cool in it. So that's why we require different types of different colored clothes in different situations. So in this chapter we learn about the heat. We also learn that our sense of touching is not always perfect to understand whether the object is cold or hot. And therefore we use the temperature. Temperature means the accurate measurement. And we use different types of thermometers. Also we learn the transfer of heat by conduction, convection and radiation. We learn what are the good conductors and poor conductors or radiators, insulators. And we saw that in our daily life we use good conductors also and we use some insulators also, because both are required for us. So here we are going to finish today's session. Will be followed by the PDF, and if any confusion, write down in the comment section. Thank you very much.